All right. So, Mr. Ratan, am I audible? Hello?
Yeah. Yeah. Can you see me now?
No, I can't.
Okay.
Can't see you. So let me share the agenda with you today. So today we are going to work on creating a new project for you. It's going to be completely new repository. We are going to set up the way it's supposed to be done when you actually go on a project, you go live. So everything is going to be done in that fashion. So, and it's going to be really exciting for you because the moment you look at the design, you'll say, wow, is this something I'm going to build? So you love it.
Okay.
So are you excited? Are you ready to see the challenge for you, the website that you're going to build?
Oh yes, I'm definitely excited. I want to see what's that.
All right, so here it comes. I'm going to share my screen. There you go. So this is the website that you're going to build. You can see this is the header. This is the banner section. Then you have some some other sections here.
Yes.
Then this is another section. This is product manager section, marketers. And this is some, I think, testimonials, marketing strategies, products. So this section right here that you see, this is basically your footer.
Yes.
And this one right here is a slider. So you're also going to build a slideshow.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
How do you find it? Excited about this?
This is a really nice website.
Yes. So that's what you're going to build. No one has built it yet. So you're going to be the first one to build this.
So this is just a design, is it?
Yes, yes. And what's cool about it is that if you click on it, you can get to know how many pixels, what's the width of it, how wide it is, what's the height, and you get lots of information here about the color, what colors are used. If you check on this section, you get to know about what fonts they have used, like Poppins, what's the font size, what's the color that's being used, width, height, all of that information. So this is going to help you write CSS when you're actually working on this. Let's take an example of this button. So you see the width and the height is mentioned over here. And the outer container also, you have the color mentioned. So you now know what color you're supposed to use for this particular, when you are styling this button.
Yes.
Got it? Okay. Now, what we're going to be doing is we're going to start from the mobile view of this site. Unfortunately, we don't have a design for mobile view, so we're just going to probably use the same same width and height, but just change a few things. For example, in mobile view, I don't want to show these menus. Probably they will go as kind of like if you click a button, they should open up. And this section can be broken into two parts. This can come on top, and this image can go at the bottom, or this one on top and this at the bottom, whichever way looks good. Same thing goes for here as well. Currently there are 4 of them. Maybe on mobile we can have sets of 2, and this can come at the bottom, right? Because in mobile you have a smaller screen size. Similarly for this one as well, this can be broken in 2. So this will be one section and this will come right at the bottom. Same goes
Like
for
an
this
image
one.
section.
Yes. So that's what we're going to do, because 90% of the 90% of the websites are going to be used on mobile first. I mean, there are hardly anyone who wants to use the desktop unless you are a developer or you are really fond of using desktops. So without wasting any time, let's go ahead and set up our project. So what we're going to do is, let's start. I'm going to create a project and let's name it as Productly. Or let's not name it as Productly. I will say that HTML landing page, or HTML project. Let's keep it as HTML project. Can you think of any other names that you want to give this to?
Uh,
Think of some star names.
Start names.
Star, constellation, stars.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or we could just say that Project Galaxy.
Uh, Yeah, that's fine. Let's do that. So I'm gonna go ahead and create it. So let's open this up.
So you're using a PHP Storm.
Yep. So here's the project that we have got. Now, all this while, what we have been doing is we have been using the index.html.
Okay.
It's great to use index.html, but it kind of limits me because I cannot break my website into small components. So when you have a bigger project, it's important to break them into pieces because at one point your website will become so long that it's difficult to debug the entire website in one go. Maybe if you have like 10,000 lines of code, and if I had to ask you to go on line number 500 and then again go on line number maybe 2000, then
Yeah.
it's going to be really difficult for you to navigate through. So that's why we're going to use an extension called PHP, which means we're going to use a PHP file. The beauty about PHP files is that you can write HTML into it.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to get rid of this tag and I'm just going to open up this so that we have our HTML. Okay, and let's name it as Project Galaxy. Okay, and this
Yes.
is my body, so let this be the way it is. Now we're going to set up some of the assets and all that. So what I'm going to do is I'll create a directory called assets. And this is where we are going to set up the Sass for us. Okay. So what
Okay.
I'm going to do is I already have, in fact, I already have assets set up for myself. So I'm just going to copy that and just make some edits into that because it's going to take a long time if I had to really build it from scratch.
What is asset basically?
Asset is nothing but a directory that I've created where I'm going to keep uh, all of my
Fonts,
uh,
images.
images, my, what do you call it? Yeah, CSS, etc.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see what we got here. Something missing? Okay, hold on. I'm just going to take the entire assets and just paste it here. Why is saying that build.js main does not exist? What the hell? Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Let's try it this time. I think this time it should work. Just going to take some time for it to set up all of the stuff because there is a big file for it to download and set up. But in the
Okay.
meanwhile, what we can do is we can start creating our templates. So when we're going to start doing this project, we would want to create a template and we want to put our files inside of it. So let's go to new. Where's the Galaxy? Project Galaxy, yeah. So here is where I'm going to create a directory called templates. So let's do that. Templates. Okay, and I'm going to create a file over here and name it as header.php. So okay, I'm going to go to terminal and create from there. Project Galaxy. So currently we have these files inside of it. So I'll go inside templates and there's a command called touch and I can create header.php. So that's where my header is going to stay. and then I'll create a file called, in fact, this should go inside of layout, because header and footer is something that's going to be common across multiple sites, sorry, multiple pages. So I think this will be going inside of a folder called layout. So I'm going to create a folder called layouts, cd layouts, and this is where I'm going to create two files. One is header.php and second is footer.php. So command line actually is very powerful. You can create files, you can create directories, you can remove files. So now you can see that I've got two files.
I'm seeing that, right?
Yeah. And then I can go back and I check. I have layouts inside of this, and I can do everything inside here. Okay. So now I think I've got my entire asset moved. I think it's still indexing because it's
So whenever I build a website, first is I'll have to go to PHP, create a project name. In that project,
yes, yes, that is correct.
have
So
index.
yes, you will do index.php instead of index.html, and you will see why in a moment, because when you use PHP, you can include those templates inside of your index.php. So your index.php stays small, and whenever we are working onto header.php, I can just stay in there.
Okay.
Okay, so let's go ahead and yeah, the first thing we're going to do is just push this project onto your GitHub repository so that you can have access for it. So what I want you to do is quickly share your screen and go on to GitHub and create a new repository. And name it as Project Galaxy on GitHub.
So go to my GitHub.
Yeah. I can see your WhatsApp right now.
Yeah. Okay.
So there's a plus sign there on right on top. Use that.
New repository.
Yep. And
Will
name
be
it
the
as Project
project
Galaxy.
name, right?
Yep. So remember, when you're creating a directory name or repository name, it has to have a dash.
Okay.
Are you not using a headphone? I can barely hear you.
Yes.
Okay, better. So
Yeah.
there should be a dash between. Yeah, that's fine. And just put a description as HTML project. And go down and hit create. So the next thing I want you to do is go on to the right hand side in settings and click on the collaboration. I believe that's the one. On the left hand side, you'll find something called collaboration or manage access. I think it's manage access. The second one from the top. And you just need to put your password.
Right collaborator.
Yep. And search my name, Imran H. Syed.
Okay.
Did that?
Yes.
Okay, come back on my screen.
Stop share.
Yep.
Okay.
So now I'm just going to get this. In fact, I should have gotten an email. Okay, here it is. So I've got access to your repository now. All I have to do is push whatever code I have written so far onto your repository. So I'm just going to
Okay.
accept the invitation first, and then I'm going to add a README. So I'll add a README. I'll do git init, and then I'm going to add the README. And while my PHP storm is opening, I will also need to add a git ignore file. The reason why we add git ignore file is so that unnecessary file from your local should not get pushed. So for example,
Okay.
your computer creates some .idea file, you know, some file that is not actually needed to be pushed, or maybe some private files it creates which you are using to put some private IDs that you only want to keep in your project locally but don't want to push. So anything that you don't want to push on GitHub, you will put that inside of git ignore. Okay.
Okay.
So let's do that. It's going to open up. It's a very heavy file, that's why it's taking time.
Okay.
Okay, 1 second. I'm gonna take git ignore from here because I already have a git ignore. So I'm gonna use that.
Okay. So I will have to download that as well, right? The git ignore.
So for now, because I'm going to be pushing this code onto online, you don't need that because I'm already doing that for you. But in future, yes, you will require to just copy this file from online from GitHub. Just create a .git ignore every time you create a new project, and just go ahead and paste all of these. Oh, it didn't get copied. Oh, it is. Okay. Right. So like node modules, Sass cache, log, SQL, anything, these are like unnecessary files that are not supposed to be pushed. So we'll put that in
Yes.
git ignore. So you'll notice that all those files, when I do git add over here, they are not going to be pushed. So I'll do git add all. And we have everything set up here. Git commit, first commit, and git push origin master. Oops, I have to add the remote as well, which is this. And then I can push it. So now I'm pushing all of my local code onto online. So you will have access to this.
Okay.
What I also want you to do is install Node.js, because you need to install some of the packages that are required for you to work on Sass. So for that, you need to install Node.js. So while I'm setting up the project, you can install Node.js. I'm going to share the link over here with you.
Okay.
So this is Node.js. Okay, I need to click on downloads actually. Okay, so you will do like window installer and then install it. So I'm going to share that in the chat over here.
Okay.
Here you go. Just go ahead and install it quickly. So in the meanwhile, I'm just setting up the project.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome. You're not keeping well?
Yeah, just a little congestion.
Okay.
So remind me, what does Node.js do again?
So Node.js is basically a runtime environment for JavaScript. It allows you to run JavaScript on server side.
Okay.
You will learn about this later. You don't need to learn right now.
So I'll have PHP Storm. I will have
No, you don't need
Node.
PHP Storm. You can continue on the um, yeah.
Yeah,
You can continue on the
Visual Studio.
yes.
So I'll have Visual Studio. I will also have MAMP. MAMP is my local server.
Yeah.
And then I will also have the CMD, the command prompt.
Command line interface.
Yes, which is Git.
Yes.
It's called Git, right?
No, no, no. It's not called Git. Git is basically GitHub where you're pushing your code. Command line tool
Okay.
is something that operates that helps you perform different operations related to your computer.
Okay. So it's called command line tool.
Yeah, CMD you can say. I don't know what's the full form of MD is here, but we call it terminal over here.
Term.
Yeah, I mean I don't know what's called in Windows, but you may have CMD or something over there.
Okay.
Okay, so I've already set up the project for you, and we've got some of the CSS already over here. So what we're gonna do now is basically uh, just go into assets and then hit npm run dev and see if that works first. Okay, there is something wrong here. Cannot find module bin cross environment. Okay, I may have to delete this and then just install all of the package myself. So rm rf node modules. So what has happened is that because I had copied these packages from a different project, it is giving some errors. So that is why we are going to install these packages once again by hitting the npm install. What's the status of the software that you're downloading right now?
It's done.
It's done already? Can you share your
Yeah.
screen and show it to me? Great. Can you type node space dash dash version in your terminal? Yeah. Type node space dash dash version. I want to know if the node is installed. No, it isn't. It's not showing. You said it's installed, so what did you do actually?
So the setup file got downloaded, and
Did
I
you?
ran this.
What happened when you ran it?
It got installed. I mean, it was.
Can you rerun it? Because ideally, oh, wait. The command is incorrect, I think, I believe. Just type node, don't close this. Just type node dash v
Node dash
space v. Sorry, node space dash v.
E as a Papa.
V for Victor. No, it's not there. Can you close your this tool? Did you already reopen it? Yeah, let's just install it again.
So it says, I think it's already there. So that's the reason why it's giving me options to change, repair, or remove.
Okay, then cancel it. Okay, close this. And just open your regular CMD. Yeah, do that. The first one.
Yes.
Type node and hit enter.
Yeah.
It's there. Okay. But why is it not coming in the bash then? It should come in the bash as well. Can you go to that bash again? Close it, open it again.
Yep.
Yeah. Are you able to type node over there? It's working, right? So the only issue was that I think there was some issue with the installation part of it, right?
Yeah. But
So
when I node space dash P,
that's fine. What we're going to do now is you're going to use this project at your end. So what I want you to do is quickly hop into your Git repository. Yep, go to Project Galaxy. Where do you see Project Galaxy written?
where do I see Project Galaxy?
Right next to your name. Yep. Okay, click on clone.
Here, right?
Yes. So we are going to clone this and then hit that copy button on the right hand side.
This.
Yep. Go back to your bash, git bash, your terminal. and then go to that htdocs. You remember this, the URL of that?
Yes.
Yeah, go to that using cd command. First, get out of node. So type exit. Uh, do control C, try control C, type exit. Again, press control C, in fact. Yeah, go to that htdocs using cd command. You cannot go directly like this. You need the path for that. So where is it? Can you go to your GitHub, and
Yeah.
that information should be there in
Yep.
README something. Yep, that's the one. First, go into that. Are you already inside of that directory?
Yeah.
First, go to that directory. No, just cd. Just
CD.
copy that command and paste it. You remember you have to do right click and paste.
Yes.
Okay, now is the time when you type git space clone space and the URL from the GitHub, which you had copied, but you'll have to copy it again. Hit that copy button. Right click, paste. Yep, hit enter. So what do you think we are doing now?
We're adding one more project to our
Exactly, you got it. You're smart.
to my this thing.
Right. So we are cloning it from the internet. So I had pushed it on the internet, and you just grabbing that from the internet and shoving it to your local. Okay, so we have the project now. Let's go to that project. So let's go back to the terminal.
Yep.
I can barely hear you.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yep. Now you'll do cd and then the project name.
CD
Yeah.
and
Space.
space.
So what's the project name? It's a Project Galaxy. That's what it's created.
Yep.
So do that. Hit enter.
Yes.
Do ls.
Dwell S.
Ls, just ls. Yeah. Can you see all the files are there? So we need to go to
Yes.
assets. So let's go to assets. cd assets. Spelling. Yeah.
CD assets.
Now inside of assets, we need to do npm install. So npm.
CD or just
No.
NPM.
Just
We are in
npm. We
asset
want to
already.
install it, basically install the packages. So just do npm space I. Only I. So I is
Okay.
short for install. Hit enter.
Okay.
So what we're doing basically is, uh, so hit that, and then you get back to my screen.
Yeah, I done that. I think it's taking time.
Okay, let it do that its job. Right. So let's take a look at my screen now. So what's happening over here is inside of assets, we're going to keep everything related to JavaScript, your CSS, you know, all of that stuff is going to go over here. Okay. So if you see this, this is webpack. So the job of webpack is to bundle your stuff, combine them, and give you one file. The reason why we are using webpack over here is because when we are working on large projects, then in fact, let me just get rid of this. Yeah, so when we are working on large projects, it is difficult to maintain everything in one single file. So we, like you just observed, we broke the header and footer into two parts. Similarly, we're going to break our CSS into different parts. We're going to break our JavaScript files into different parts. But when we are breaking them so that we don't have to keep including them into our index.php file, we would go ahead and let them be separate and tell webpack that when I'm done, then go ahead and combine all of those header, footer, everything together and just give me one file. And I will go ahead and include that one file into my index.php.
Okay.
Okay. It's a smart thing to do, right?
Yes.
How it will also help you as a developer is to manage projects in future in a better way when you're working with teams. For example, someone is working on a footer, you are working on a header, they can work on a different file altogether, you can work on a different file altogether. You can keep your focus only on header, the other person can keep the focus only on footer. So your code doesn't get jumbled up and you both are working on separate tasks. Got it?
Okay. Yep.
Okay, so that's the job of the webpack. And so this is build directory. This is where it's going to build the JavaScript and the CSS. So can you see it's already created the main.js, which is your
Yes.
JavaScript file. And then it's also created the CSS. So it's giving you one CSS file. So all I have to do now is go back to my index.php and just include these files. Of course, we don't need the JavaScript right now, so we won't worry about that currently. So how do I
Okay.
include a style sheet? You already know about this, right?
How do I include the style sheet?
Yeah.
Like in CSS, right?
Yes.
Uh, yeah, I know that, but I don't remember the how to link it.
That's
Okay.
okay. So use the link tab, and this is the path. So where do you think your CSS resides? We just figured out that it's inside of the build folder. So how do I reach to the build folder? So in order for you to reach somewhere, you need to first find out where you are. So I'm inside of the root. This is where I am, and my CSS is inside of assets. So I'm gonna
Okay.
go travel forward. So think of this like this all on the same level. I have to go
Yes.
inside of it. So first I'll write assets. Then what's my next level? Then I have to go inside build. Then where is my CSS? It's inside of CSS folder. So I'll put CSS. So I have to traverse to my file. And there you go. That's main.css. So I'll do slash
Okay.
dot. See, it's already suggesting me that I'm actually correct. So I got my
Correct.
style sheet included, which is great. I've got my templates inside of layout. I've got header and the footer. So this is where I'm going to put my header. So let's say I create header. You already know about this. These are meaningful tags, right? These are,
Yes. Open
uh,
it.
no, I'm the name I'm talking about, the name, the header and footer and main and nav. These are meaningful tags
Yes.
so that, those screen readers can understand what they are.
Semantics.
Semantics, exactly. That's the word. Good. Good student. Okay, so that's header. And then similarly, I can have inside of the footer.php, I can have my footer. So I can do,
Yes.
I can do footer and now say footer. Okay, so now I have header and footer, but so everything, so think about it. When you land onto this URL, which is, I go to my local host and I open up my, what's the name of the project? Galaxy, right? So project Galaxy. Here you go. So currently I don't see anything because there's nothing inside a body, but if I say hello, I should be able to see hello over here, right? But why don't I see header and footer? I did write header and I did write footer. So why do you think I don't see that here?
Because there is no content in it.
This is the content, header and footer. I've written footer over here and I've written header over here. So why do you think it's not visible?
Just like we mapped CSS to
Exactly. Perfect answer.
it, we
Per-
haven't had in
per-
footer.
Perfect answer. Okay, bang on. So when you come onto this URL, it's rendering index.php. Think of this like index.html. Okay.
Yes.
Uh, Now this only has hello. It has no idea that there is another file lying somewhere in templates, which is header and footer. Has no idea, absolutely no idea about it. Like this
Yes.
doesn't have idea about the main.css until you told it that there is a main.css. So same way, we have to tell myindex.php every time we build a new component. Call them like this will be templates. So every time you build a new template, you have to tell your index.php, say, hey, I have just built a new template. Please include that. Okay. So in PHP,
Yes.
when you write PHP, you write opening tag, then you write quote, and then you write PHP. So, so like in HTML, you had like this opening and closing. So for PHP, this is the PHP's opening. Oops. And then this is the PHP closing. Okay. So this is opening, this part, and this part
Okay.
is closing. So you have to make sure every time you open a PHP tag in index, whenever you're writing HTML inside of it, you need to close it as well. Okay.
Otherwise,
Other
it'll give an error as well, right?
Yes, because you are mixing things
Wow.
up, right? You are writing HTML as well as PHP in the same file. Ideally, this is actually a PHP file, right?
Okay.
So inside of a PHP file, you can write HTML. It allows you to write HTML as long as you don't break the rule. So the rule is that if you're writing PHP or if you're writing HTML inside of a PHP file, you have to make sure that whenever you're writing PHP, it needs to be wrapped inside this opening and closing tag. Okay.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's going to throw error. It needs to know. That's how system will know. Okay, now it is going to read this as HTML. The moment that it sees this tag, it will say, okay, hey, I want to read, I want to, process PHP here. And then when it finishes processing, if you are writing HTML again, then you have to close it so that to tell the computer, hey, I'm done with PHP. Now go ahead and start with HTML like this. Got it?
Yes.
So why do we need PHP? PHP is needed to include those files. So there is a function in PHP called include, and you want to include it only once. So there's a function called include once, and then it takes some parameters in code. It basically takes, I think that's what it is. Hold on. Why it's giving me an error? Yeah, that's it. I think, just 1 second.
No problem.
Yep, perfect. So you in the codes, you have to tell about the path to it. So like we went to the CSS, I'm currently in index. How do I go to my templates and then layouts and then header? What do I write here? Tell me the path. I want to traverse.
The path is going to be just a second. The path is going to be href.
No, 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 no. This is not style sheet. So there will be no
Okay.
href. All I need is this path right here.
Okay. So I'll go in assets first.
So just to let you know, my header is inside of
Oh,
layout.
yeah. So templates. Sorry.
Yeah, that's fine.
Uh,
As long as you understand the concept. So templates
yes.
then.
Templates
Mm-hmm,
/ layouts
mm-hmm. Okay.
/ footer.php.
I want header first.
Header. Sorry. Yeah. Header.php.
Okay, same thing we'll do for footer as well. So I'll break it another line and I'll say footer.php. So now
Yes.
if you go back and check, I should expect that I should see header and footer.
Header.
Yeah. I already got rid of the hello, so I don't see the hello anymore. But
Yes.
how easy, how simple this becomes when I have different sections. So when you're actually working on this project, you're going to be creating header.php, and everything that you see on top goes inside of this header.php. Okay,
Okay.
all the code. Then when you come to this section, this would be probably a banner. So this will not go into layout. Why? Because this is not going to be repeated on all page. So this cannot be a layout. It will go inside of, let's say, maybe home. So because it's related to home page. So I'll put that inside of home. So you'll create a file called banner.php, and then everything, remove this PHP tag because you're going to be writing HTML, and then put a div, and then whatever you want to put for the banner. So everything you design here is going to go inside of it, and then just come back again and include it right after the header because you want the banner to be inside header. And what will be the path?
The path would be assets.
Y assets. I want to go to banner.
Oh, home. Yes.
Okay.
I thought templates is under
No
we have
asset.
a home banner.php.
Perfect. So now I should expect to see banner, right? If you
Yes.
change its position, if you bring this up, the sequence will be changed because you
Yes.
called that first, but that's not what we want to do, right? We want our footer to be at the bottom. So all of the sections are going to come over here. So now we are breaking the entire site into small pieces. And this is pretty
Yes.
useful if you ask me, because then I can just, when I'm working on the header, all I have to do is just focus on one file compared to 1,000 lines of code where everything is jumbled up into one,
Exactly.
right? Pretty smart, huh?
Yeah, definitely, because that definitely confuses me when I'm working on that web page, HTML page.
Yeah, it's
That
too much to see. See, mind cannot process so much information in one go. So you need to break it down for it.
I agree.
Same thing is going to go for CSS as well. So now I'll come back over here. Inside of my source directory, we have SCSS folder. Now we have something called main.css, and that's the one we actually included. That was the bundled one, right? So in main, like we have included all of our PHP files for CSS, when you want to import it, you will not use include, but you will use import. So I have already imported small components because I want to reset my settings of the browser because I don't want to use the browser's default settings. So I have a reset file. So this is just resetting everything and making it normal. Then I have typography. So in typography, I just want to give the font to font family to my body or whatever font related stuff. I'm going to keep it over here. I have something called variable. So when you complete your Sass chapter, you will know that you can also define something called variables in CSS, because think about it. This button color is orange, correct?
Yes.
The same color is also being used here. It's also been used here. It's also been used here, let's say, and all these places. If
Yes.
client comes and tells you, hey, I want to change this color at all the places throughout the site. I don't want this orange. I want it to be a little lighter. What do you think you will do? If you have 1,000 lines of code, first of all, you have to go and find out where all you have defined it and then change it manually. Think about it, how tedious this job is to change it all the places. So what
Right.
we're going to do now is, with the power of Sass, which is the SCSS extension, you will be able to define a variable, let's say inside of colors, and give it a color of orange or red or white. And then every time you want to use this color, instead of using color, you will actually use this variable. So now if he comes and tells you, you know what, I want this light gray shade to be something else, but throughout the site. So you just have to change it at one place, and it's going to make changes at all the places, no matter how big the site is, wherever you have used this variable. Isn't that smart?
Definitely it is. Yes. So this is called variable function in under Sass.
This is just variable, not function, just variable. Okay, so you'll put your colors. Every time you create a new variable for color, you're going to put that here. I'm going to get rid of this, all of the colors from here. I'll just keep it black and white because you're going to be seeing what colors are these and you work accordingly. You'll not touch reset, let it be as it is. Yeah, but anything related to fonts, like if you want to define your H1s, your H2s, like predefined, you want them to be the same size throughout the site. So anything related to that common, you'll put here. Okay.
Okay.
And if you want to be doing media queries, so have you already learned about media query?
No.
Okay, so you're going to be learning about media queries. So media query related stuff is going to come over here. So these are the variables actually for media query and any other variable that you define, which is not related to color. Okay, so how do I do this now? Now I'm going to work on header. So how do I take care of the header? So what you'll do is this is your area. You're not going to go anywhere throughout this when you are do CSS. You'll not touch anything. Every time you want to do CSS, you'll come back to SCSS folder and you're going to come to components. So you'll create a directory called components because these are small components. And
Yes.
then let's say I want to create a header. So you will create a file underscore. Remember, when we are creating components of Sass, it needs to start with underscore.
Okay.
Name it as how we did for header.php. Now we'll put an extension as SCSS for Sass.
Okay.
Similarly, I'm going to do that for footer. So footer.scss. Okay.
Yeah.
And let's say, so this is just for test purposes. When you actually build the site, you'll do something else according to what the requirements are. But you can see that now you already have a header. So let's say I want to give this header a class first. So first, where is the header? I'll go to my home. I'll go to layouts, go to header. I'll give it a class of header. And then if I want to give CSS, what do I write? Dot header, correct?
Yes. Dot header.
And let's say I want to give it a background color of, let's say, maybe this color, right? Now
Okay.
remember we discussed that we're not going to use a hard-coded color like this because we may have to use it at several places.
How did you change that?
Just click on this and then choose.
Oh,
Yeah.
I always
So
wanted that when we choose the color, it should immediately pick up the RGB code. Uh, Interesting.
you can change things from here. You can change RGB. You can change what you want. You can select the colors. So it's one of the
Okay.
features of PHP Storm, but there should be something similar in the one you're using as well. So
Okay.
coming
Thank
back,
you.
coming back. So where do you think
Yeah.
we'll define this color? So I'll go back to my settings where my all site setting is there. I'll go back to color. And what was the name of the color? Let me see. Uh, Antiquate white. Okay, so I'm gonna come over here and use a dollar sign because variables are defined with dollar sign and then colon and the name of that and that color code. So I'll use this color code hash and then this. So now I have is defined. All I have to do is just go back here and replace this entire thing with a variable. So now if I check, should this work? It wouldn't work.
Yeah.
Why
It's
wouldn't it work?
maybe it's not showing up.
Why?
It's not showing up because I think we did not add CSS
Correct. So
just like we did everything else.
exactly. So main.css is the one which is being compiled by webpack and being bundled up. But main.css has no idea that you actually created two components, which is header and footer. So it won't include them. So like you included the header.php and footer.php inside of your index
Yes.
right here, same way you have to tell your main.css that there are two more files I want you to include. So you can maybe put a comment over here like components, add import, and then where is your header and footer? Tell me the path. How do I go there? I'm
So
currently inside of main and my header is inside of components. So how do I go there? What path do I write?
You are in main.
Yeah, I have to go to components and then footer. So what do I write? Sorry, header.
So you have to get out of components first. Sorry,
No, no,
main.
I'm not inside of component. I'm inside of main. So see, you don't have to get out when something exists further deep down, which means
Okay.
components is on the same level as main.css. If
Oh,
components
okay.
was outside of it, which means it was somewhere here, maybe like outside of source, maybe that's when you
Yes.
had to come out. But since it's in the same level, look at the level.
Yes.
When I say same level, you should be able to use your arrow key and go to that like this. So that means it's same level. So if
Yes.
it's the same level, where do I go next?
You go to components.
Absolutely. So I go to components, already showing. Next, forward slash, next.
Footer.
I want header
S-
first.
Header. Yeah. Header dot scss.
Correct. And notice that you don't have to write the .scss. It accepts like that only. It is not going to
Okay.
throw an error if you do that, but it accepts like that. And you don't have to use underscore. So only while creating the file you use underscore. Otherwise, you can just leave it as it is. Same way goes
Okay.
for footer as well. So I'll just copy this and put footer. And now if you come and check, ideally you should get that color, but it's still not working. Why?
Because it's white on white. That's why.
No. See, ideally this class, I should see that style over here. I'm not seeing that. Okay, I'll
Because
tell you the
we
reason.
added this into our index yet.
No, I added main.css into index, correct?
Oh, yes.
So main.css knows about these two. So I'll tell you why. If you come back on terminal, this is my project. For Webpack to work consistently while you are changing something in the code, for it to know, it needs to watch it. So it's supposed to bundle something. So think of it like a machine. I don't know what example should I give you. Like, let's say you've seen sugarcane crusher, right? Machine.
Yes.
So what does it do? You put the sugarcane from the left hand side, and it gives you the juice from the right hand side, right? It
Yeah.
takes it takes bundles of sugarcane, like 10, 15 sugarcane at one time, or maybe 3 or 4 sticks of sugarcane, and then combines them. Probably think of it and just gives you that juice as a one piece,
Yes.
one entity, right? So
Right.
so think of it right now as that you are feeding the sugarcane, but you have not actually started the machine.
Okay.
So you're
So
doing everything right.
Webpack has colors, header, footer, main, CSS, but it has not started to create that synchrony.
Yes, so my machine is not started. For my machine to start and constantly produce those juice, I need to start it. So for to start it, I have to run a command. Okay, so where do I run the command? Where is my webpack? Is my webpack over here in the root directory? No, it isn't. It is there inside of assets. Here is the webpack. Okay,
Yes.
so I have to first come inside of assets, and that's where I can run the command because that's where it lies. So remember, you have to come into assets and then run npm run dev. This is the command you'll run. When you hit it, the machine is going to start. Think of it like it's going to start. You can see that it's started as a development mode and it's progress, and it's also watching. So it's going to constantly watch for your changes. Every time you make a change, it's going to start bundling that stuff. So can you see 10% building? So it's like it's
Yes.
crushed 10% of your juice. And now it's finally done it. So now if you go back and refresh, ideally you should see the change. Can you see? Okay, hold on. It didn't do anything. Hold on. Something went wrong. Mm, okay, I have to maybe do a hard refresh. Yep, there you go. So can you see?
Yes. Yes, I can see.
Now it's working. And again, if I go ahead and probably do a similar thing for footer.css, where do I go? In SCSS, inside of components, footer, and I'm just gonna give my footer a class. So where is my footer? Inside of templates, layouts, footer.php. I'll give it a class of footer, and I'm just going to use that here. Where is it? Here it is. And probably I want to give it a different background color, maybe black. So I already have a variable for black called black, which I've defined inside of colors. And then I can give it a color of probably white. And I already have these two variables defined on top, so I can just use them. So if you refresh, there you go. So now my footer has a black background and white color, because it's going to process this information, it's going to convert this variable and give me that whatever the value of that variable is. Same thing goes for white as well, because I used white over here. I used white. It's just going to give me the value of it over here.
Yes.
You got it?
Yes.
So this is Sass for you, my friend. I want you to learn it further, Sass. So I want you to
So
complete
Sass is
Sass.
basically the whole stack of the sugarcane, and then the system to kind of merge them all together.
Yes. So Webpack is the one that does the bundling stuff. Where is it bundling? Now it's going to take this file and it's going to bundle it here and shove it all of the juice over here. So can you see? It's shoving everything
Yeah.
together. Isn't this reset style that we had defined earlier, right?
Yes.
So it's got to bundle that. Isn't this body we had put in typography?
Yes.
Isn't this header we put in header.scss? And
Yes.
and isn't this footer that we put in footer.css? Correct.
Yes.
So it's combined it into one file, and then it's given that to me inside of this. And that's the path assets build css and main.css is what we've included eventually inside of my index. And that's, I in my thinking, I think it's pretty smart, because I can now focus only on header.scss when I'm working on header, and all I have to keep open is only two files, which is header.php and header.css. That's it. And probably
Right.
header.css will have very small piece of code compared to if I had to write everything all together. Similarly for the css as well.
Right. Main is something that we never work separately. We work only on pieces such as header, footer.
Correct, correct. But we have to tell main about it. Like we have told my index about header and footer. Similarly, whenever you make a new component, you have to tell your main about it inside of SCS. So main needs to know this is your boss. It's like, father or the head of the family needs to know about the CSS. So you go ahead and
Yes.
import it like this. So there are already examples how we are importing it, and I've already explained about how do you traverse to the path. So that should be pretty simple. Same way goes for index also. Whenever you create a new file, you need to tell your boss that, hey, please include this. So
Yes.
that's all you have to focus on now. And I want you to start building. So I'm going to push this code over here. So I'll go back. Remember, you have to go to assets and do it. So I'm going to, inside of my README, so there's already a README. So I'm going to write this code over here. And I'm going to say development. I'm also going to put a rocket over here,
Okay.
and I'm going to say that run first cd into assets, and then run this command npm run dev, and this is basically to start the webpack.
Okay.
Okay, so to start the webpack, you have to go to cd assets, and then when you want to push the code, and this will be to create a branch. When you want to create a branch, you will first make sure you're in the root directory. So you have to come out in case if you are in assets. come out using cd dot dot. This will make you come out. And,
Yes.
and then you have to create a branch. You'll do git checkout branch, sorry, not branch, but dash p, and the name of the branch. Let's say you're going to work on header. So you're going to create
Yeah.
that branch. Then to push the code, you'll do git add all, git commit m, your message. You already know about this, right?
Yes.
Imagine how much of the knowledge you gain just in like 1 hour.
Exactly.
And isn't this like pretty cool stuff?
This is definitely very cool because this is nuts and bolts of any creation.
Right.
Otherwise you, like you mentioned, otherwise you imagine those bunch of hundreds and thousand codes just running out in main CSS, working on main CSS would be
Yeah.
like a,
Yeah. When you're
so
working with a team, it'll be
I
really, really
understand that
difficult for
if
you.
there is a organization and the organization is working on, somebody's working on header, somebody's working on footer, how is that all getting into together?
Right.
Even the thing that you've run, right? The main.css. I think that this you all only run when it's time to run, or
You
it
run
should.
when you're working on it.
Okay.
When you stop working, you stop actually. And to stop, I'll just write it to stop it. So when you've stopped working, then to stop the webpack, you have to do control plus C. And
See.
you, yeah, you may have to do it twice, I believe. I'm not sure. You can check it out.
Okay.
So git add all, git commit, git push origin master. So now is the time when you're going to write one line of code just to ensure that you've understood it, and then we can call it a day. Okay, so next thing I'm going to do is just pull. So I'm just going to say to pull, in fact, to pull changes, git pull origin, and then the branch name. So this is to basically pull. Okay, let's go back to your screen and quickly go ahead and pull all of the changes. Can you share your screen now?
Yeah.
So you'll put git. So I want you to go to GitHub and just copy the command from there so that you know how to actually use those commands. So just refresh. There should already be a README down at the bottom.
Yes.
Why can't it retrieve? Hold on. Yeah, that's fine. Go back. You don't have to click on README because the output of the README will be there down at the bottom.
Yes.
Okay, so where is
To
the
pull changes.
information? Yeah, so don't copy the branch name because branch name you will put that manually, whatever the branch you're trying to pull.
GitPull
Origin.
IGIN.
What is the branch name you're trying to pull?
I am trying to pull my project name.
No. Which branch?
Uh, the branch is asset.
No, that is a folder. Remember, you had created a different branch earlier. Remember, we discussed that master is actually the main branch, and then when we are working on different components, etc., we create a different branch on GitHub. So last time you created a different branch, you asked me why my code is not being shown on GitHub, why that dot is not coming, and I explained to you when that branch get merged into master, that's when your dots are going to show. So
Okay.
uh, if you want to know which branch you are on, go back on Git Bash your terminal so I can show you. Can you see there's a blue word out there in brackets?
Blue word.
Blue, yeah, in blue, in brackets. What is that thing?
Master.
Correct. So you are in currently in the master branch, which master is the main branch. So
Yes.
since you are into that, and that's where I also pushed, you need to pull the changes from online to your local by writing the name of the branch, which is nothing but master. So put master there. Got it. So can you see these are all of the codes that I've written. It's added these. So now what will you do first is you want to work on header. So you will create a branch for header. So how do you create the branch? Can you go back and check in the GitHub?
Git checkout dash B.
Yep. And then the name of the branch. So in this case, it's feature header. Remember that you will change the name of the branch when you're working on a different component. Since we are working on header, we can keep it the same for now.
Yes.
I lost you again.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
So yes. So now that we're working on header, so we'll create the branch header.
correct. So can you see the name of the branch is feature dash, sorry, slash header. That's the name of the branch. The whole thing, feature, starting from feature up until header, this is the name of my branch. So when you're
But
creating a feature, that's why you add feature before that. When you are fixing any issues, you will add fix forward slash whatever you're trying to do. Okay.
okay.
Okay, let's do this. So what does it say?
Now we are in feature header.
Right. How do you know which branch you're on?
Do I know it's this blue thing here?
Correct. So it tells you that you currently into this branch.
Yes.
So so now let's open this in your code editor. Close this and open that project.
How do I refresh this?
You don't need to refresh, just close everything. Close the entire editor, the whole stuff.
From here?
Yep. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Now, do you see an option of open folder? The second option from the top.
Yes.
Click on open folder and open the Project Galaxy. Click on Project Galaxy and select folder.
Okay.
Okay. In the meanwhile, open the project into your local host while this is opening
Here.
in the browser. Didn't I give you some local host address last time? Why is it showing file CMAP and all that stuff?
Yeah, I think our server didn't work for some
Okay.
reason.
Okay, but this is going to be a problem because you're using PHP, so it's not going to work actually. You're going to need the server. Let's try it. Let's stop the server and start again.
Yeah. So PHP cannot open up here, right?
Nope. There's another way we can try. We can try local by flywheel. Can you try that?
Local by Flyby.
Flywheel. Let me see. Local by flywheel. XAMPP. Sorry. Windows. Oh, that's for WordPress development. Sorry. They don't need for WordPress development. User-friendly software package, streamline WordPress flow. No, no, no. We don't need for WordPress. Let me see what we can do in this case.
Set up new port.
Sorry.
Stop server and start servers, right?
Yeah.
So can you see my screen?
Yes.
So there is this thing that always comes up.
Click on setup new port. Let me see. Hold on. Did something happen? Oh no.
No.
Stop the server and then do that thing again. Yeah, now try web start page. Doesn't give you an option. Why is your port not free? What is it that's using your port 80?
Last time we realized that it was asking for administration password.
Right. Okay. So let's do this. What we're gonna do is we will try XAMPP instead of MAMP, and let's see if that works. So I'm going to send you a URL.
Okay. XAMPP Solar.
I've just sent you the link on chat.